What's up, guys? So we had probably one of my most loyal Hunter podcast followers. He reached out to me, right? He was like, hey, can you review this chart? And so I looked at the chart, and the chart was a breakdown of the way in which our society has changed, right? So it took into consideration conscientiousness, and conscientiousness means like your ability to be disciplined, your ability to be organized. Neuroticism, which is the tend towards anxiety, mood swings, and just being more unstable, right? And then it went agreeableness, which is kindness, cooperation, trust. And the last one was extroversion. Extroversion, being extroverted, being outgoing, and just being a vibe. And we gotta make this quick because the the ocean is coming. It wanted us to break down why were all of these different categories declining in our generation, the Gen Zs as well as the millennials. And you actually see it even in the baby boomers and that forgotten generation between millennials and baby boomers. No one really cares about them. They're the middle kids. So I began to look at it, right? And when you look at that chart, you notice that, yes, it was already declining, but after COVID, it really just took a nosedive. And I think a large part of that is because COVID really accelerated our lack of belief that there is going to be a tomorrow, Because during COVID, everything seemed like it was the end. The end of jobs, the end of school, the end of life, the end of families, the end of parties. Everything seemed like it was over. And so we kind of begin to believe that, hey, that's the end. This is the end of days. And then once we realize, oh, maybe not, we got a second chance, we haven't yet responded in a way of, okay, it's over. It just feels like we're waiting for the ball to drop. It's like the joke is coming. We've seen the writing on the walls that the joke is coming, but it hasn't came yet. So when you look at all the individuals, which I want to break down them separately, conscientiousness, which is organization, responsibilities, and self-discipline. Looking at myself, right? I'm a full-time traveler. I mean, I just woke up. I'm next to one side wind turbines, the other side ocean. And I can tell you right now, my discipline level is high in some things and drastically low in other things. But it's not even that it's low. It's more so that it's not long-term. It's not long-thinking discipline. You know what I mean? Like with jujitsu, let's say jujitsu. I would wake up and go every day. Boom, 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 6 a.m. Let's go, let's train. But I would do that for 2 months. And then I say, yo, I'm out, I'm leaving South Africa. Now I'm traveling through Italy. And now I'm under something else. So we have this mindset, and I think many of us have this mindset. Maybe it's not as shifty as maybe my lifestyle is, but it is this mindset of I'm going to do this for this amount of time, and then I'm moving on. We can see it in our job market. How many young people really see themselves working at a company for more than 10 years? When you look at our grandparents, I worked at Caterpillar for 50 years. I work at GM Motors for 30 years. We don't see ourselves like that. Actually, we see that we're more likely to get raises, make more money if we leave a company after 2 years, go somewhere else, get that raise, 2 years, go somewhere else. It's expected. So when you put that on society, and then you also look at the way that we consume information, we can only consume it if it comes quickly. Since ChatGPT came, how many people are actually trying to look up things? You know what I mean? Like, if you go to Google to find some information and it's not on the first page, the chances of you scrolling through Google to find that information, 0%. So first page is already the lowest that we're willing to work. But now we have AI agents that can just give us the information, which means that no, we don't hold the information longer, but we have more of it faster so we can implement it and keep it moving. You see, we're a culture and a people of not wasting time. We're all about efficiency. I've said it before. We don't worship gods anymore. We worship speed. We worship efficiency, and we worship profit. Neuroticism, the 10 towards anxiety, mood swings, and emotional instability. I mean, come on now, that's an obvious one. We are the most anxious generation ever. And we don't even have the amount of wars and disease and poverty and struggle as maybe some of our older generations, but this is what we do have. We have continual engagement with destruction, with torture, with war, with murder, we have continual engagement. Think about it. It was like me and my boy Eduardo. We were driving, and I was like, "Yo, let's listen to War of the World." If you don't know what War of the World is, right? This was a radio experience done in October of 1938, right? And this guy named Orson Welles, he came on and he was like, "Hey, this is about to be one of my audio series, whatever." And it's going to show aliens coming down to Earth. So it begins to play, you hear the trumpet, you hear the music of like an orchestra that's supposed to be playing in New York. And they say, hey, we're cutting in because we just saw, leaving from Mars, these large explosions. We don't know what they are, don't worry so much. And then over time, you start having more cut-ins telling you that, hey, there might be something coming to Earth. Boom. Hey, something just landed on Earth. It's massive. Boom. They're disintegrating people. 7,000 of our soldiers went. Only 100 of them have survived. And now you're getting the audio of an alien invasion, right? That caused mass hysteria in the United States when it happened. Because when people click on to their radio, you don't have all these different radio stations. You don't have all these different avenues to verify your sources. You don't have continual coverage of things like we do now. But for that radio series, you had continual coverage. You had nothing else to verify what you're seeing. So everybody's glued in to this radio series about aliens. And it caused that mass hysteria. Me and you, on the other hand, or me and my younger generation, on the other hand, shout out to Ryan, we have continual engagement with things that don't exist in our lives. You know, it's like Palestine, Israel. 90% of the world have never been to Gaza. But we all feel like we understand or we know what's going on in Gaza, right? But the human psyche, the human biology, our structure is meant for us to be afraid of the tiger that's across the room. You know, we get that fight or flight, we get those anxieties because we worry about things that can actually occur within our environment. If you get somebody that says, hey, yo, there's a tornado that's coming to the city. Now you're thinking, okay, I gotta pack up my kids, I gotta get out of the city, I gotta do this, and this, because there's an immediate danger on your existence. Hey, but if you say, yo, there was an earthquake in Thailand, but you don't even live in the Asian continent, there's no real fear there. But have created such a globalized society that everything impacts us. So of course, as humans, we're going to be ultra alert and ultra aware of the danger that can come.
I just want to make sure that we're recording.
Yeah, we're good. Next, we have agreeableness. We don't give a damn about what you are saying. And that's just what it is. And the reason why I think that we don't care as much about what you're saying is because we have so many people speaking at all times. I'm one of them, constantly speaking. Who am I? I mean, I live a better life than probably 70% of the people that are on your social media feed, so I'm probably more liable to listen to if you want to have a cool ass life. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm anybody, right? But we have so many people talking in our ears that when somebody who talks in our ears, maybe in front of us, that we don't care about because they're not an influencer or they don't show the life that we want or they don't have anything of substance to offer us, we're not just going to take it and accept it, you know? That's why teachers are losing credibility inside of our society. That's why the policemen are losing credibility within our society. That's why the people that are our elders, we don't care about what they're saying because oftentimes we don't even think we want what they have. So why would we give so much power to people that we don't even agree with the choices and the decisions that they've made? And when we take into consideration the COVID, all of this has to be taken into consideration COVID. COVID took all these underlying beliefs and sped them up. Sped them up. And so now you're in a situation where conscientiousness, our ability to be organized, responsible, and more disciplined, hey, we don't have time to be disciplined. We only have so much time on this planet, and we need to get to the bag as soon as possible, by any means necessary, as Malcolm X would say. Neuroticism, I already explained to you. With social media and as all of these different aspects of our society is constantly being barged at us and thrown at us and told that we have to worry about this, and this, how could you not be mentally distressed? As my mom would say, disease is nothing but dis-ease. We don't have ease in our life anymore. When was the last time you just went and turned off your phone, no music, no stimuli, nothing, and remained silent? Listen to the waves. Exactly. Agreeableness amongst everybody. We're more competitive. You have to be. Not only are we competing with each other, but we're competing with AI. We don't have the kumbaya relationship that we once had with our neighbors in our community. Everything is dog eat dog world. It's dog eat dog world. It's not a dog eat dog world anymore. You know? And so that explains why our agreeableness has went down. And that's across men and women. Agreeableness used to be a very feminine trait, and it allowed for our world to work very efficiently. Now it's competitive. I have to get mine because I can't rely on you to get ours. So I can't agree with you. I have to compete with you. Think about that. Like that's not a simple thing. They used to say the best place to keep leftover food was in my neighbor's belly, because if one day I don't have food, the best place for him to leave his leftover food is in my belly. But now we got refrigerators. So if I don't have food, that doesn't guarantee that my neighbor is going to give it to me. So my neighbor is now a opponent of mine rather than a co-op. We're not co-op mode anymore. It's one-on-one. It's 1v1. And the last one, extroversion. Extroversion, this is sociable. This is energy. This is enthusiasm. Man, people are so anxious. They're so weird and not outgoing. I was actually saying that to Eduardo. The waves are coming. They're almost here. I've become so jaded in my life because I live amongst travelers. And there's nobody more fun than travelers. Travelers are always down for a good time. They're down for a vibe. They're just trying to enjoy whatever's going on. So when you first meet a traveler, the first thing you're going to say, any backpacker will know this: where are you from? Donde está? Because we are always open to getting to know the other person and then creating memories together. I've lived in hostels for so long, months and months in hostels, this country, that country, around people who are also traveling. I tend to date women not from the countries that I go to, but from the other countries. So if I'm in South Africa, I'm gonna date a Brazilian. If I'm in Brazil, I'm gonna date somebody from Japan. That's just how it goes because we're all more open to experiences. But post-COVID, we all went inside of our hermit shells, inside of our little houses, and we panicked. And we said, oh, once we finally get off house arrest, I'm never gonna be late to any party. It didn't hold true. Not only are we late to parties, but now we don't really want to even go. We don't want to talk to our neighbors. We don't want to get to know the people around us because we live in these bubbles. We live in black mirrors that bring the world to us, but push the world around us. It brings society to us, and it pushes the world away from us. So the person in the grocery store, stranger danger. The cute girl that we see at the movie theaters, she might say post my picture on social media and say, look at this creep trying to talk to me. You know, we've created such a world that almost our failures live forever, that it's actually better for us not to fail at all than to risk the ability of being immortalized as a loser. You know what I mean? Like, I have the meta glasses, and I can hit that little button and I'm recording the world, right? I was walking into a grocery store, and this baby, he was blown away by the way that I looked, right? And he was just walking, holding his mom's hand, but looking at me. And I didn't have the meta glasses on, but I probably would have recorded it. And he was walking, and boom, hit his face into a window. And I just bust out laughing. Funniest thing, his family started laughing, everybody just laughed. He started laughing because he's a baby, he don't give a damn. But that failure would have lived forever. I would have said, hey, let me send this to you. Now the parents have the child hitting his face on the window when he was a little kid. So when he's now 18, they're like, hey, look at this. This is you walking into a window. We've created an immortalized failure system where everybody is always under 24/7 scrutiny, where we're all looking at each other's greatest accomplishments and our greatest failures. But failures spread way further than accomplishments. So people are less willing to actually put themselves out there because they don't want to be seen as a failure, I saw a video on social media, and it was this guy. He was like, hey, you mind if I come inside? And the girl was like, oh, no, I don't think you should come inside, not tonight, but I had a really nice night with you. And so she closed the door, and the guy went, but I'm going to pay for everything, and you're not going to let me inside. Wow, fucking bitch. And then he walks off, right? But the little camera ring light on the doorbell caught the entire situation. And then she put it on social media. So this guy is now definitely in his environment, definitely in his community, he's going to be the laughing stock of that, Because people recognize him, they can laugh, they can call him weird, he might not go on dates anymore. So now him putting himself out there, being rejected, dealing with it in the way that he does, in his emotional tantrum, which was in the comfort of his solitude, is now seen by the world and spread to who knows how far. Ryan, that is the reason why extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and neuroticism have declined over the last couple of years, and expect more and more decline. You said you have a daughter and she's constantly on her phone. It really is a double-edged sword with the technology, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you take it away from her, she's going to be an outcast to her community, because you also still want her to be successful within the society. But if you allow her to have it, she's going to be absorbed by it. And that's the situation that is happening to not only your daughter, not only our kids, but to us as people. And it was not just the millennials and the Gen Zs that we see having declines. It's the baby boomers. It's the forgotten generation. We're all going through it, and we're going through it together. So, guys, thanks for tapping into the Hanatale podcast. This is my breakdown of a photo that one of my loyal followers, fans, community, and family has sent me. So send more so that I can continue breaking it down. If you guys want me to do videos maybe that are popular, I'm also willing to dive into those, because I want to let you guys see the world. Y'all, thanks for tapping in. I'll hop with y'all later. It's time for me to go for a swim. Peace.